Hello, everybody. If you are in the market for health insurance or need private health insurance, you won't want to miss this episode. There has been a very big change in private health insurance and how it'll affect all of you here in the Philippines. And I think you're going to find it very positive at that, not something you probably expected to happen. So I'm going to introduce you now to Michael Onstad. Not only is he an expert here in the Philippines when it comes to private health insurance, but he has decades of experience in the exact same industry in the West. Now, we've had him on our live show sometimes to answer people's questions, those kind of things in the past. So if you're interested, we do have those videos. But today he's going to talk about this big change and what it means for all of the expats out there. And of course, we've purchased insurance with him before. All right, Michael, why don't you share with the viewers a little bit about yourself, what you got you started in this, what's your experience on this, and then we'll get into what the big changes are.
Okay, well, I've been doing this now for 43 years, 3 years in the Philippines. I come from Canada just like you do. Well, I started when I was 21 years old. I started with a company called Transamerica.
Okay, so you do understand the difference from both perspectives, from getting insurance in Canada or the United States, that kind of thing, or getting insurance here. And I think a lot of people don't realize that it doesn't necessarily translate the same. The same expectations of what you have for health insurance. Say, for example, in Canada, you get health insurance. Well, the most you might ever have to pay for medications is like a filling fee. And this is just for your everyday insurance needs. But that doesn't really translate here. A lot of things are separate and not included in insurance policies. Is that correct?
Well, 43 years of handling claims, it gives you a deeper understanding of what's covered and what's not covered. And there's a lot of misinformation out there, particularly in this country. Now, I don't mean to slight the Philippines, but there is a great uh, misunderstanding, and which often leads to a client not really understanding what they're actually covered for, and that's probably the most important thing. Uh, More important than the pricing is the service after the agent takes your premium. We have an office set up. I have a full-time employee that's a registered nurse with 10 years experience dealing with hospitals in the Philippines. That was a great addition. We've had a few emergency admissions, and it's been absolutely instrumental in making the whole process smooth.
And before we go on to the big change that's happened now, and that's very good news for everybody, can you just elaborate a little bit on the expectations when you come to the Philippines, what you can expect from insurance policies here, some of the issues that might arise when you are here that maybe people aren't expecting, that kind of thing?
Well, what I usually recommend to an expat that he covers for the big events and pays out of pocket for the small things, because outpatient care here is so inexpensive. It's not worth paying extra premium to cover those things. It's just not worth your time and energy to submit a 1,000 peso claim. So what an expat really needs is if they get hit by a jeepney without lights on at night crossing the street,
Right. Yes.
and
Yeah.
they're suddenly in a hospital and they won't let them in because they can't pay up front. Might be because they're actually unconscious. Yeah, they're ruthless here. Um, yeah, so what you want to know is that you're going to get into the hospital and it's going to be a smooth process. It won't be a hassle, and that's what I focused on in building my service organization.
And to give you context, we have a friend here who had this situation where he was like, "Well, I have plenty of money in the bank. It's not a problem. I'm just going to pay if something happens to me." And what happened is he ended up in the hospital with a heart attack. Problem was is he couldn't do anything about anything, and his wife couldn't get access to, I believe it was 1,000,000 pesos or something like that. And so he had no ability to get the money. She couldn't get the money, that kind of thing. And they had to, they luckily they have friends that were able to step up. But yeah, often people don't realize that there is a whole process if you want to do that whole self insurance thing. that you have to go through, and make sure that your wife is made for this, set up for this, that kind of thing. She can get access to that money. Otherwise, you could be in very big trouble. So obviously, having a health insurance policy, especially for just the emergencies, could be the better route. You don't have to go and try to find
Correct.
a million pesos so that the hospital will
Correct.
treat you.
Yeah.
All right. And so, do you offer more than one brand or company, insurance company, when you're as a broker?
You know, I went through them all and I picked the one that checks the most boxes for an expat, and I ran with it. I got to know the management. I became significant enough with them that they actually listen to me when I have an issue with a client, and that's way more important than saving $20 a year because you can do it somewhere else. So that's the way I've always played it. It's more about service in health insurance than getting the cheapest price.
All right. A lot of people say in our comments there, they automatically say that, hey, I'm over 65 or I'm 70. Nobody will insure me. Is and that there's no point or anything like that. What do you say to that?
Oh, well, no, I insure people right up to age 100. I've never done a guy at 100, but but I get a lot of 70-year-olds.
Well. Is anybody at home right now, 99 years old, looking to come to the Philippines? You could be Michael's very first 99-year-old. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, send me your 99-year-olds.
All right. So in the past, and what we had, you had to go when you sign up for the insurance. You have to list all of your pre-existing conditions, and then after 1 year of being insured, they will finally cover those pre-existing conditions. What they'll do is they'll evaluate everything based on your health for that year, and then they will provide you with a premium in order to cover your pre-existing conditions. Well, that's changed, correct, Michael? And this is where the big changes happen. Most people would be like, oh, well, they're just not going to cover pre-existing conditions, something like that. You would think things would go backwards, but no, in actual fact, it's gone forward now. And now it is much shorter. So, Michael, why don't you tell us about the big change, what's different, and let's go from there.
Well, instead of 12 months, we're dealing with 30 days. The waiting period is 30 days now. But I'm gonna put a caveat on this because there's a lot of misunderstanding here. Declared pre-existing conditions will be subject to an additional premium and on the odd occasion permanent exclusion. So I'm not saying, okay, I've got high blood pressure, I've got high cholesterol. I'm going to go see Mike, and after 30 days, they're going to cover everything. That's not the case. There's going to be an extra premium involved. But before you had to wait a year to find out what they were going to offer you, now you'll know up front.
Correct. Well, like somebody who has high blood pressure or taking something like cholesterol medications, that kind of thing. You might be. It actually is only about say another 6 or 7 thousand pesos a year in order to be covered for those pre-existing conditions. It's not like it's an enormous number. What do you say? Like a 20% increase, something like that?
Yeah, it depends how severe it is. Type 1 diabetes is a whole different story than type 2. Type 1 is insulin dependent. Type 2 can be handled with metformin and diet, exercise.
Right. Yeah. Well, and, high blood pressure medications are very cheap, very very low cost, and they keep your blood pressure in great shape, so you're good to go. All right. So I noticed on your Facebook you did post the whole chart, which you also sent to me, that goes from ages 18 all the way to 100, and what the price structure is, and it was very reasonable. I was actually really shocked by this. I think it was something like 40,000 or something like that for somebody like say 60 years old or something. Maybe you can tell me what did that chart say for that? And for let's start with Ward. Yeah,
Well, that
Ward.
seems a little high. Just let me check. 33,000 pesos for Ward.
So about $600 a year for somebody who's 65 years old. That's super impressive, right? Like that might be what they might pay per month back in the United States or something like that. So it's pretty good. And like, for example, our friend that had a significant heart attack with the cost a million pesos, it's a pretty drastic thing, but right. Yeah. Like our friend who had the heart attack, obviously it was significant. It was a million pesos that you had to have out of pocket immediately if you didn't have insurance. So it can be a pretty drastic thing on your life.
Yeah, and that has a benefit limit of 1 million pesos. And this plan now goes up to 5 million, which is going to cover open heart surgery at the best hospital, St. Luke's. That's about what that'll run you, and that's about 100,000 pesos a year for 5 million.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, it's considerably cheaper than in other countries for you to have this kind of insurance. So, uh, all right.
Right, it's a little less if you're talking U.S. It's a little more if you're talking Canadian.
Yeah. Yeah. As a Canadian, well, that's the thing. Like Canadian dollar is like a 40 pesos per dollar, that kind of thing, and then the American one's like 58 pesos per dollar. And so when I'm calculating things, I just use 50. I use the 50. It's not really in the middle, but it's just so easy to calculate things when you know it's 50 pesos to every dollar, and you can quickly do the math. So it's very interesting. I got to tell you from Michael here, or about Michael, I should say. Every time we meet expats, like at expat meetups or just in passing over different cities, there's so many of them that already use you and actually sing your praises. You're a walking best advertisement, or probably a lesson on how to properly market or something, because your customers literally talk about you like you're the best thing in the world. And I think that's for good reason, because unlike other agents who might just show up and get you to sign, say whatever it takes to sign, then they disappear. And now your claims are getting rejected. Nobody's helping you, that kind of thing, or whatever. But you help everyone. You even have helped in the past. I don't know how often you get time to do that anymore. You've helped other people who did not sign with you, but they are with the insurance provider, and you have chased and gone after money just for them to help them out. Just because you're a good guy and you know that you could probably do it, you can help them in some way, which is absolutely remarkable. Yeah, I'm blown away, and I always have been, that you show the signs of why there is a formula to success. And we're going to put all the links there, so Facebook, email, or whatever Michael wants to have listed there, and you can reach him anytime. You can ask him all the questions you want, that kind of thing. Michael has been always very quick to respond. I sure you don't answer at 3 a.m, though, right? So keep in mind of the time zone.
That does happen occasionally.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, they go, you're actually in the Philippines. I go, yeah, I am. Well, I got to take all my calls, because it could be a guy in trouble at a hospital. So I've got to take them all.
Wow. Okay. Well, more power to you. That's just a testament of why people choose you all the time, and that's fantastic. And let's talk about where Pcific Cross is available. I can tell you, because we've been around Iloilo. We've done a couple tours of hospitals. Check those videos if you haven't seen it. And they all have accepted Pcific Cross. And it's great because Michael will watch the video and then he'll write us and say, by the way, that hospital accepts Pcific Cross. So yeah, appreciate that, Michael. That's really great. But yeah, all the large scale hospitals here all accept Pcific Cross, which is really fantastic. How many are accepted around the country, that kind of thing?
Yeah, no, I've got a list of 375 hospitals throughout the Philippines, and they're all not qualified, but they're on the direct settlement program. They have a liaison officer of Pcific Cross at each location, which helps. And then, of course, there's my office that helps coordinate the things that might go sideways when you're checking in, and that does happen. But we've got 100% success rate.
Yeah, and a lot of the hospitals are very proactive, and they actually want to make it work. We met one recently when we were at Medical City, and they have a dedicated person that their only job is to help facilitate billing. So they take all kinds of American insurance, that kind of thing, and they work directly with them to try to get everything working, because they know that they need to make money too. They want to be the chosen provider. So they have to make it as seamless as possible. So, yeah, that's a really great thing. Pcific Cross is a British company. How does this work?
Yeah. We actually have an office in Medical City, now that you mention it. Oh, no, this is the domestic branch of Pcific
Oh, it's a
Cross.
Filipino company.
No, it's
Oh,
based out of Manila, but it's part of a Pcific Cross International, which has companies in Thailand, Hong Kong, Malaysia.
all right. Now, a lot of people ask questions about PhilHealth, and they don't understand when it comes to PhilHealth what the difference is between an expat, a local, those kind of things. I'm not even sure, so I'm going to ask you because I've been getting the questions to ask you today.
PhilHealth isn't health insurance. PhilHealth is a subsidy plan for foreigners. It might pay 20% of the bill, and it will never cover heart attack, stroke, or cancer. Never. But locals, it will. It will cover locals for that, but not foreigners.
All right, guys. So that's it. I'm going to put Michael's information down below. Eventually, it'll show up in the comments depending on what time this gets uploaded and if I'm available right away. But it will be in the description of the video. Contact Michael. Ask him whatever you like to ask him. Get pricing from him. You got nothing to lose. So it doesn't matter your age or anything like that. There is a way to get health insurance here. So
Thank you. Appreciate it.
there you go. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. We do all kinds of videos. If you're new to this channel, go and check out. You'll see we have a whole playlist about rentals and places for sale, houses for sale, properties for sale. You name it. We try to show every different aspect of what it's like to have that Philippines life. And so hopefully you subscribe, and we'll see you guys all again very soon. Thank you. And thank you, Michael Onstad. Bye-bye.
At 29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set the rewind.